All right, guys, a little video on a 204 here. So last time I had this guy out was at the range, shot some groups with factory ammo. 32 grain really looked good. And haven't heard anything else since, and that's because I've been waiting on the mail to get my dies. So I finally got my dies in. I've got Lee Collet die. I really like this thing. I got a Redding body die. I also ordered a Lee quick trim die for my case trimmer. And I think that's about it. Oh, I got a Lee, the collet die comes with a seating die. So I got that thing too, just for starters. Brass for this guy is good old Winchester. All right, I'm not going to go crazy on the brass here because for this thing's application, basically if I drop a piece of brass in the middle of the night in the snow, I'm not looking for it. I don't care, right? So I just want something cheap to get this thing done. Winchester is probably good enough for what I'm going to do with this guy. So what I've got is I've got a bunch of fired brass from my from the Hornady stuff, right? And I have my body die. So now I can resize and try to find a sweet spot for the shoulder position, right? Now for my rifle, I like them to be a little bit. I like it to be a little bit. I want it to be as close as possible, right? So what I'm doing here is I've got the firing pin pulled out of here, right? So I got a strip bolt basically. Got the firing pin pulled out of here. I've got the ejector pulled, right? So there's no resistance on this guy, and I'm just feeding some cases through here to see what works. So I've resized this guy, and I've got it at, we'll call it 57. All right, 57 on this guy. So I put this thing in here. This will let me do it. These 204s are so tiny. There we go. Get this guy in here, and basically just want to see, I want to feel some resistance, right? And I like to get this to the point where I don't feel resistant. I know feeling is not a measurement, but you know, hey, when you get tight bolts from just neck sizing or whatever, it's a feel thing, right? But anyways, that's where I'm at. So this was a 57. I can definitely take some force to close that bolt. That case is not right. So I run this guy over, resize it, right? It just so happens I have another case right here that is a 56. Let's see what that, feels like. Here we go. Ooh, that's much better. So just 1 thou is all it takes to get this guy nice and loosey-goosey. So 56 is where this guy's going to live, all right? At least for now. And, honestly, the more I fire the cases, the more I'll see what do they end up being at fired length, and then, what's a 2 thou bump look like from there, that type of game you play. But for starters, I'm just kind of kicking around the idea of sizing this as close to my chamber dimensions as possible. Try to squeeze as much life out of these guys as possible, right? Because I'm not going to move the brass around that much. But anyways, that's what I'm doing, and it's pretty fun. The next thing I guess I got to do with this guy is I'm just going to run all this brass through the sizing die and get the neck sizing all done on this thing, get them loaded up, and start doing some initial tests. Now, this SPS stock is going to go. This is going to go away at some point. This thing it's not free floated at all. So I'm going to have to find something else. So I'm still on the hunt for a good stock. If you have a recommendation for a stock that's under 250, all right, I'm not made of money, right? I would love to have an MDT stock, but I'm not spending 400 bucks on a beater gun like this. So if you have a recommendation on a good stock, let me know in the comments. That'd be great. I'll keep chunking along here, and we'll try to get to the range for this video too. Find out. So what I've done here is I have some fired brass from my Hornady factory stuff, and I've appropriately sized this guy for the gun. I've got 32 grain bullet in here that's seated long. So I'm just getting this thing set up for seating depth. It's a dummy round. There's no primer in this guy. So let's see where jam is on this. You get just a touch of sizing wax on this guy so I can get it back out. So my lugs are screaming at me. Let that guy sit there. Slam it open. All right, let's measure. Oh yeah, and by the way, anybody interested in a 204, you need the number 14, right? The 20 cal, sorry, 14 to 20 cal here. Bullet comparator or overall length Duma flotcher, right, for this guy. So it's all zeroed out. We're looking like 2.981. 2.981. So I'll adjust my die 20 thou down from there, and then we'll start. Basically what I'm going to do is just generic load all these things and fire form them. Have a little fun with G at the range, and just kind of like slam through the brass to get this stuff sized. It's really, really short. So using a 32 grain Horny VMAX. I have no idea what I'm going to use for powder yet. Probably something that I'm looking to get rid of. But I hate to see basically 100 primers go for fire forming, but got to get this thing ready. Anyways, I think I'll get these guys loaded up and then I'll head to the range.